Hello everyone, today I'm here with Salvatore, one of our best students who, with a bit of study, some commitment and passion, managed to earn 11,842 euros in only 4 months. Let me introduce him. Hello Salvatore and welcome.
Hello, Valeria. Good morning.
How are you?
Very well. Today is a nice day, so all is good.
I'm glad you're here and will be telling us a bit more about your experience with our training program. First of all, can you tell us more about yourself? What is your job? What do you do?
I'm not going to reveal my age.
Okay, that's fine.
I have a background in economics because this has always been my passion. My academic career is in economics, but to be honest, I work in tourism. I'm a travel agent and a tour operator. As you know, tourism has been hugely affected by the pandemic over the last year and a half. And for this reason, I've actually had more time available lately. A few months ago, I could dedicate some time to studying something that I've always been very passionate about.
I see, and your job is so interesting.
Yeah, my desire to travel and move around is always strong.
Well, mine too. So, what difficulties did you have before joining our program?
Speaking about trading, of course, my biggest problem was not having enough time available. Working full-time, or actually more than full-time, super full-time, made it obvious that I couldn't be at the computer and constantly checking what was going on. I mean, you can study the techniques, the methodologies, candlesticks, the charts, the patterns, but then you cannot remain there, just observing. Also, there is another important aspect to consider, and that's emotions. Seeing the results, the losses and the gains that go up and down it's not for me, for sure.
Well, it is a bit.
I prefer not having to worry about that.
Okay, so your biggest problems were the lack of time and the emotional pressure related to discretionary. You started trading with a discretionary approach in the beginning, didn't you?
Yes, I have been studying for a little bit, but it was almost like a game. I traded some forex, but without any commitment. But we're talking about losses of 1 to 5 euros, just to understand if it was worth my time or not, and it wasn't worth it. I mean, you want to be profitable, right? If you break even, it's just a waste of time.
Okay, so why did you choose our training program over any other program out there?
Well, of course, since I used to study a lot of online free content, I've happened upon the videos of the Unger Academy more than once. I've seen Andrea Unger very often, and sometimes I've also seen videos with you and also Francesco. So I've watched some videos by Andrea, and what I've appreciated the most about him is his intellectual integrity. While the rest of the world promises profits and wealth and tells you things like, you'll get rich with just €1,000, you'll become like Scrooge McDuck, Andrea always speaks with great honesty. He even talks about his mistakes, showing that he is a human being like you and I. Besides this, I could actually see that his approach was good for me. In short, on the other hand, I appreciated his intellectual integrity, and on the other, I found that this kind of approach is the correct one, in my opinion, of course.
Okay, and is there something in particular within our program that has really helped you? I mean, why was it so effective?
First of all, let me tell you that all the material in this program is not something that someone willing to search for can't find by themselves. However, putting everything together would take a lot of time, for sure. You need to gain a lot of experience from your mistakes. And as you know, mistakes in this field are extremely expensive. So what I like the most about this program is how the content is organized. And there are let's say there are some juicy models in the program. The one dedicated to coding, which is the heart of the Unger Academy, and the one dedicated to strategy evaluation. These modules contribute to making the program pretty interesting, rich in content, and effective. By the way, there are also some codes, and I don't really like fiddling around with the code, but in this case, I was able to easily adapt them to my needs.
So you were able to adapt them and...
Yeah, I did, and without any problems. because you're not taught to copy. You're forced to think. You must think and work on it yourself, which makes you aware that you have understood and learned what you study. In other words, you know that markets have specific characteristics, and you also understand that there are significant drawdowns. When they happen, you feel a little bit unsettled, but you know that they can happen, and you eventually see that everything goes back to normal.
You're right. The training program prepares you psychologically too for when you go live.
Yeah, there are some steps that, if I hadn't studied before taking them, would certainly have made me lose a lot of money. In that particular moment when the strategy is losing money, it's not actually losing, it's just taking a breath. So when you see that this breath consists of a loss, you already know that it is something that can happen. You have already evaluated the worst case scenario, which is the cautious part of this method, and you're prepared for it. You don't touch anything, and the curves resume rising, and you start earning again.
Well, if you're not prepared for it, you can have a hard time.
If you're not ready for it, you stop all your strategies every time and lose your money.
So, after applying what you've learned in the program, what results have you obtained after completing all the modules, in addition to what you already told us?
You mentioned those numbers before, but I'd say that my main achievement was becoming profitable. Understanding that this is something you can keep on doing. It's not studying for its own sake, it's more like you found a gold mine. You start digging, and digging and digging, and every room you find has new treasures to discover. And this is true not only in terms of learning. You don't say, well, since I've already studied this, now I can study something else. But also in terms of the instruments you use. For example, after understanding a certain future, you might approach it from a different perspective. You can come up with new ideas.
Well, learning is an ongoing process. You can find new ideas and stimuli to improve if you want to.
Sure. And I'd also like to tell you that I've decided to start all over again. And this has always been my way of studying. And I've also noticed that some new material has been recently added to the program. And this is also very cool.
That's true. We always listen to what our students tell us. We look into your questions, and if you ask for some explanations, we always try to integrate them into the available material. So you'll keep finding new things to study.
Yes, I've noticed that.
So, how's your life changed so far? Your results are fairly recent, but how has your life changed since you have achieved them? Not just in terms of money, but also from a psychological point of view.
Well, as for money, we know all too well that you don't use all the money you make. After studying that, you need a certain capital for trading. You don't use that money for other things, which means that nothing has changed from the economical point of view. But maybe my hopes have changed, I imagine a slightly different future with some richer content, we may say.
Okay, I've got another unusual question. Where do you think you would be right now if you hadn't decided to join the Unger Academy?
I think there are two alternatives. Either I'd given up trading, or I'd be watching tons of free online videos without getting any results.
Are you saying that you would have still been in
the loop, exactly, in the hamster wheel?
But you did manage to escape that wheel, and pretty well, I'd say.
Yes, I managed to escape the hamster wheel. And by the way, I'm still watching the same videos I used to watch before, but now I do it with a fresh set of eyes. And I can also find some interesting inputs for studying in them.
I see. Lastly, I'd like to ask you, what would you tell the people who are watching this interview and are still undecided whether or not to join this program?
Can say this to whoever is not sure if joining the program, because actually someone already asked me, they asked, was it worth it? Well, was it worth it? Well, look at the results I got. If you know that some people achieved some good results after studying and used this method, you see that it was worth it. It's not some fluff or useless stuff. And to all those who are already studying but who are not sure whether to go on or not, I'd say give it a try. Set your heart in it and give it your best shot.
That's right, you need passion, which is also what we've seen in your case, right?
Motivation. And strong motivation.
Some passion, commitment, study. That is what you need. Because, as you have said, there is no promise of easy earnings, and no one is saying that you'll be a profitable trader tomorrow. You need to study, and you, like the other trading heroes, are the proof of it.
That's correct, exactly. I mean, we're part of a nice club. But then you see, in any case, trading, what I've learned, is not for everyone.
There is actually one of Andrea's videos about it. It's called Is Trading for Everyone?
You need to approach the study material in the right way. Motivation and dedication are fundamental. Otherwise, you won't achieve anything.
Of course, that's also something that helps you progress.
And in addition to this, you also discover that the strategies you created, even if they are currently profitable, might not be profitable tomorrow. This also motivates you to study them further. The fact of saying, okay, this one will be replaced by another one for a certain period of time at least.
I think this is in the module you talked about earlier, the one on the evaluation of trading systems.
Yes, the strategy evaluation module.
And that is quite important actually, because we often hear people ask, isn't there a winning system?
No, it does not exist, of course.
And there you find out why, how, and what to do.
No tool will be useful forever. No trading system will keep on working forever. Just be aware of it. Take the trading system shown in the program, for example. They were probably working when they recorded the lessons, but, well, maybe they're no longer working now.
Of course, you're right. There are some systems available there, but they are mainly for studying, practicing, and teaching specific concepts. I mean, the purpose of the program is to teach you to become independent.
The mindset. And that's what this program gives you, together with the tools. Whether you can use and apply them, or it's up to you. It's your turn. The challenge is yours. If you are successful at this point, it's not just because of the method. It's your achievement.
I mean, it's even better in my opinion. For sure, it's thanks to your effort. Anyway, your dedication and investment in terms of time, the costs and the rest, you dedicate your life to it. I was talking to someone else about it, and I think you too, because you were working.
Because it's an investment.
Studied at night, in the morning.
Exactly, at dawn at 6 a.m.
Anyway, you need to be very motivated and dedicated.
Absolutely, but you should consider the time you dedicate to it as an investment. You make an investment to trade the markets, both in terms of money and time.
I totally agree with you. If you dedicate the time needed, you can get the results that you have actually achieved.
Let's hope it keeps going so well.
Yeah, we are so happy about your results. We wish you much more success in the future, and we hope you'll tell us and keep us updated.
I hope so too.
Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you when you achieve the next Trading Hero step.
Absolutely.
In the meantime, I wish you a great day and see you next time.
Thanks to you, Valeria, and thank you all. Please say hello to Andrea from me.
Of course, I'll say hello to him. Actually, you can say hello to him.
Hi, Andrea.
He will watch it too. Goodbye, everyone. Bye-bye.